I'd like to introduce Heidi Haydon now, who is somebody who unfortunately is in a wheelchair and isn't able to just get out and walk up some stairs. And she's going to tell you her story. Thank you very much. Over to you.
Hi guys. How you going? That's good. Alrighty, so in 2009, I was 22 years old, having the time of my life. I just ended a 6-year relationship and moved back in with my mum, back in Wollongong to get back on my feet and become independent again. I began studying to be a hairdresser and a salon manager. Spent my afternoons and weekends riding my motorbike, riding with my mum as well, she rides too. We went out dancing with friends and hung with mates. I'd been riding my motorbike for a couple of years. It was my sole form of transport, so I rode to and from work, to my friends' houses and everywhere. I considered myself to be a pretty good rider. I followed all the road rules, took all the right measures to ride safely. One Saturday in December, my mum and I were riding and having an awesome day. On our way home, she went straight home. I stopped at the shops to get a couple of things. As I made my way home from there, beautiful beach views. In a minute, my life would change forever. Little did I know that this would be the last time I would walk on this earth. I had the right of way in a roundabout, and I saw a ute coming from my left, and he was going a decent speed in a 40 zone, but he was a fair way away, so I thought I can just go. As I was exiting out on the right, I felt this huge pressure on my chest and I felt like I'd been winded. Everything went black. I'd been T-boned and bulldozed into the guardrail by the ute. My memory isn't too clear afterwards, but I remember little things. I remember when the officer in the ambulance cut all my clothes off, so I was just totally naked, which is something you don't want anyone to see. I hadn't really realised my injuries yet at that point. I just remember needing to cough and I couldn't breathe properly and I couldn't feel anything. That's when the morphine kicked in and I quickly blacked out again, which was good. My next memory, which is probably my favourite memory of all, this bright light, brightest light you could ever imagine and the loudest buzzing noise ever. All of a sudden, everything went super silent and so serene. Out of the bright light appeared the hottest, most gorgeous guy I've ever seen in my life. Believe, trust in that. He was hot. His bright blue eyes pierced into my soul. Put his hand on my head and he said, it's okay, Heidi, everything's okay now. And I thought, you know what, if this is how I'm going to die, I'm totally cool with that. Near-death experience, I kind of thought. Not quite. Turned out to be the emergency officer and he was putting me in a helicopter and he just put earplugs in so it was just quiet, but his face was real. I'm sure of it, sure it was real. I was flown to the intensive care unit at Prince of Wales Hospital in Sydney, a place where they send people with traumatic and life-threatening injuries, where we're all treated and where my reality was about to hit. I woke up in so much pain and in a neck brace and a machine that was forcing me to breathe. The doctor said to me there, "You'll never walk again." I remember tears welling up and thinking to myself, like, what am I now? What am I going to do? Who's going to love me? I'm just useless. With my arms full of needles monitoring my vital signs, I touched my legs with my hands. What I felt was unimaginable. And if I can get you guys to try this, if you put your hand on the person's leg next to you, or arm, or face, wherever you want to put it. All right. That's what it feels like for me to touch my legs. So it's like I'm touching somebody else, which is weird. It's like I'm dressing someone else in the morning. So amongst that, I had numerous internal injuries. I'd broken 2 bones in my neck, 10 bones in my vertebrae, so from here to here, I've got 2 foot-long rods and 16 screws. I broke my shoulder blade, my ankle, as well as my foot. The biggest injury of all for me was my spinal cord. My spinal cord, in doctor's words, was completely obliterated. I'm now a T4 complete paraplegic, with no movement or normal sensation from here down, my chest down. There are many medical permanent effects that I have to live with daily. I won't really get into that stuff because it's not really what it's about. What it's about is what I missed out on in life and what I didn't get to do and the things that I still can't do now. I can't be a hairdresser anymore. I can't do things on impulse, like when you stay at your mates' houses or go out to concerts or cafes or whatever it is. I can't do because I don't know if I can get in the door or if I can get up something if there's steps there. I can't go to the beach with my friends anymore. I can't lay down and sunbake. I can't just go for a quick dip in the ocean or the pool. I can't go driving with my mates anymore because we don't all fit in the car because my chair takes up most of the room. And if I don't take my chair, then I can't get out of the car. I can't drive a regular car. I have to have hand controls and special cushions. Worst of all, for me, I can't dance anymore. I can still do the arm thing, but I can't do the move the legs thing. So began my time in spinal rehabilitation, a 7-month experience that would mould me into who I am today. My close friends began to slowly drift away. I was different in their eyes now. It seemed that because I can't walk, I wasn't the same person. I was in hospital for every important day in my life. I was there for Christmas, New Year's, my brother's birthday, my birthday, Australia Day, Anzac Day, Easter, you name it. I spent it all with my partner in crime, my awesome mum. She supported me every single day, celebrating the small things. She dealt with the good times and the bad, and when my life stopped that day, so did hers. She dealt with the times where I just wanted to end my life and just end it all. She reassured me that it wouldn't be this way forever. I had to relearn things in a whole new light. How to sit up, how to balance. Because I've got no trunk muscles, so even coughing, I can't really do anymore. Sneezing, I just do little baby sneezes. That's what it's like for me every day. If you try and balance on one of those big gym balls and take your legs and hands off, that's what it's like for me to sit here. I had to learn different techniques of how to eat while balancing, how to use the bathroom, how to get dressed laying down, how to function in the outside world, and most importantly, how to accept who I would be from this moment on. I used to get upset and angry when people used to look at me, how uncomfortable it was for me to go outside. I think to myself, like, how unfair is it that someone who chose to make this decision while driving could just leave me like this? Never apologised, never showed any remorse. It took me a couple of years to become one with my chair. My morning routine now takes me 3 hours instead of half an hour, from waking up to eventually being in my chair, ready for the day. By the time I leave my house, I'm already exhausted and I feel like I've done a day's work. Trust me, dressing a paralysed, limp body is a challenge in itself. I have gym routines to build my strength so that I can function with complete independence. I've now learnt to embrace the fact that I'm obviously different to the norm, to accept life and what it has in store for me. Even when I fall out of my chair in the middle of the road doing a Superman with my pants down. Since the crash, I've bought an apartment in the city. I hang with mates and I'm always out and about. I live with my boyfriend our cats, tarantulas, scorpions and geckos. I'm enjoying life to the fullest, and we've travelled all overseas. I got my driver's licence back and can drive a car, and I bought this. Thanks, Mum. Although I can ride and drive again, it comes with its challenges. I need to drive all hand-controlled vehicles. I've got to have special seating and special cushions. Oh, look at that camera in your face. I now work in all 3 spinal cord injury rehabilitation units in New South Wales with Spinal Cord Injuries Australia. I'm an education officer with the peer support team. I meet people and their families when they get to the intensive care unit, and I'm with them until the day that they leave, which is 6 months or more. We are their support network. We're there to show them how to become independent, how to love yourself again, and how to get on with life. I see firsthand how this affects a person. It affects their partners, their children, their brothers and sisters, and their friends. All it takes is a moment of hesitation to change people's lives forever. Listen to it, it's a ripple effect. It won't just affect you, it'll change the lives of the other people involved, doctors, nurses, emergency crews, friends and family. Not only do I live now as a complete paraplegic, but the driver that hit me that day knows that I'll never walk again. I will never be able to just stay at a mate's place. I'll never be able to go to places unplanned, as I don't even know if I can get in the door. You guys can prevent crashes like this. Be safe on the road as a driver and as a passenger. Even though I'm here today and I'm living my life, don't lose sight of what I've lost and what you could possibly lose. Think before you act, make smart choices, and if there's anything I learnt from this, it's to never assume everyone will follow the road rules. Thanks, guys. Get out of here.
Thank you, Heidi. What an absolute inspiration to us all, hey? Big cheer for Heidi.